This is Kay Kritiques. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Kay Kritiques, where we discuss all things South African television. And today we are discussing Adulting, Season 2, Episode 7, titled Radical Honesty. Now, let me tell you something. This episode gave everything that it was supposed to give. It gave us emotion, it gave us drama, it gave us laughs, it gave everything. Okay, so let us get into it. As you guys know, I go through the gens one by one, going through their storylines. So without any further rambling, let us get into Eric's storyline. Eric. So it's the first day of school and literally everybody's running around like headless chickens, and Eric is trying to make this first day special for Ncumisa because it's her first day of school, it's a new year, new school, and also it's the first year that she's going back to school without Natasha around. And the grandma actually tells Eric, no matter what you do, your efforts will never ever close the gap that Natasha left. They'll never close that space. Natasha is not coming back. And Eric literally bought the wrong school uniform. I'm like, how did you go into the shop and ask for a uniform for the school and then you bought the wrong uniform? But at least he's trying and he's there and he wants to be there for his daughter, right? And then after he drops Ncumisa off at school, we see him going to bail Minkis out of jail. And when Minkis is out, they actually have an honest conversation where Eric is like, we cannot be together. Like, me being with you is actually gonna jeopardize my parenting. Like, I can't be a parent to Ncumisa and date you at the same time, because if I continue to date you, it's gonna affect my child and not in a positive way. Me and you are not good for each other. Like, we're two bulls in a one kraal, and that can never work. And now I don't want to go back to jail because of you. They actually have an amicable breakup, and I have to give props to Samgelo Ndlovu. I have to give props where props are due. I'm giving Samgelo Ndlovu her flowers. She played this Minky's character perfectly, to the T. Minky's understands where Eric is coming from and is like, just promise me that you'll never ever date a woman who's like me ever again. And they actually love each other, but this is what's best for Ncumisa at the end of the day. Speaking of Ncumisa's behavior, like, I understand that she's a teenager, but she's bordering on, not even bordering, she is disrespectful. Like, when she comes back home from school late. She's like, I had extra lessons. She's back chatting her elders. She's just very disrespectful, and Eric is having a hard time disciplining her, which is another thing that the grandma is trying to instill. I feel like the reason why Eric isn't really able to discipline Ncumisa is because he's so used to being the weekend parent. He's so used being the fun parent. Natasha was the one who was instilling discipline in Ncumisa, and Eric was just the fun parent. And now that he's the main primary caregiver, he has to be the one now who to enforce rules to make sure that Ncumisa abides by rules in the household and that she has discipline, and be the one to actually that authority as a parent. Because as much as you can be friendly with your child and build a solid and safe space for them to be able to open up to you about anything, at the end of the day, you are a parent, you're not their friend. Can't always spoil the child. And like the grandma was saying, so they were arguing, and Ncumisa realized that the grandma actually spilled water on her to wake her up just to wash one cup. And Eric is like, Ma, it's just one cup. And it's like, it starts with one cup, then it's 2 cups. Then the next thing, she's leaving dishes in the sink. Then the next, she's staying out home late and she's coming back at odd hours in the morning. It starts with that little cup. Like, if you can't enforce discipline with that one cup, then like you've lost the battle already. But hopefully things work out between the two of them. I really do hope that things work out for Eric. Like, I need Eric to win for once. Vuyani is out with Zelda. He's declaring his love to her. And Zelda doesn't really believe anything that this guy is saying. So I feel like maybe Vuyani has sold her a lot of dreams, a lot of stories, and none of that has come to fruition. Like, he spoke a good game, he spoke a big game, but he hasn't really followed through. And so Zelda is not taking him seriously. And Uzodwa is just focused on the bag. She's standing on business and she's like, until you actually get us that house, get us those assets, build your career as a personal trainer, maybe even start your own gym, I don't think it's wise for us to actually get married, of which it's valid. Like, everybody has their standard. But my thing is, you haven't even graduated and you have all these big expectations out of him. But she also has big expectations of herself. So I can't fault her on that. She wants to graduate. She wants to become a partner at her law firm. She wants to secure the bag and climb that corporate ladder. So I'm not really mad at her. She actually knows what she wants and she's going after it, and she's not settling at all. I feel like for now, because Zelda is still a student, if he succeeds in this personal training thing, then that'll be enough. But as soon as Zelda levels up, she's gonna want more, and then he's gonna keep having to do more. I doubt that he's ever gonna reach that, because as much as I like Vuyani and I'm always rooting for him, you guys know this, but I also feel like Vuyani sometimes, Vuyani also has this victim mentality where it's like, woe is me, nothing ever works out for me. He's never actually that ambitious. The things he's ambitious about are his father's expectations and now Zelda's expectations. It's never really about what he wants. Like, he tried this fashion thing for like 2 days and then he gave up. Like, it's a lot, and he never actually works. He likes soft life without working hard for it. Basically, he wants to do nothing and then get soft life, but he doesn't really have a sense of direction of where he wants his life to go. So I feel like he still needs to find himself, which is nuts to me. Our life will never ever go on the same pace in life, so I'm not judging. It's not ageism, but in the context of the show, like, he basically had all the time in the world to be able to find himself and find what he really wants to do, because he was living soft. He had all the luxuries while he was busy with these sugar mamas. They all could have funded his dreams. But anyways, so then all of a sudden he's chilling with the boys. Haibo Vuyani's like, he's getting married, and none of the boys are buying it. They don't buy it, especially Bonga. Bonga's like, this guy's gonna get divorced in like 2 seconds. Mpho is also trying to ask him, like, are you sure that you want to get married? And once you get married, there's no going back. And there's also this issue of sugar mamas, that you still sleeping around with sugar mamas. Why would you want to get married and bring Zelda into your mess? And he's like, no, I'm serious. I'm off the streets. I'm straight. I want to get married, and Zelda's my soulmate, blah blah blah. I'm just like, Vuyani, you're just getting yourself in a load of cack, honestly. Everything that I needed to say about Vuyani, everything that I could advise Vuyani about, I've already done it. I've already said what needs to be said. You need to invest your monies that you get from your sugar mamas. You need to be more financially responsible. You need to actually go and find yourself outside of women and just work on yourself and find out what you want and what you want for your life, without your dad's opinion, without anybody else's opinion other than yourself. But anyways, so now and I just feel like the reason why he wants to marry Zelda is because the dad approves of the marriage and wants him to lock Zelda down, because we did hear him saying while he was on his walk with Zelda, he's like, yo, my dad is finally going to be proud that I'm dating someone who's actually my age mate. Now they're at this party, and I was assuming that it's a bachelor party, but it wasn't. So Mpho pulls him to the side at this party and is like, are you sure that you want to get married? Because marriage is not pap and place. This need pap and place me. Like, are you ready to get married? Like, you can say, hey, I'm getting married, but are you ready to get married? Because once you get married, There's no going back. And if you get married now, you are going to regret it. Those are Mpho's words. He was like, you are going to regret it. And you can see that it didn't sit right with Vuyani. Like, he didn't take those words well. And hopefully he does realize that, nah, I actually don't want to get married. But I doubt it. Like, Vuyani, once he's set in his ways, he's set in his ways. And that is actually dangerous. And now on to Mpho. I am even getting tired of saying this. But Mpho, I am your number one hater. I'm your number one hater. Like, I'm even tired of saying that. I know in the previous episode review, I was like, I never get tired of saying it. But I actually am tired of saying it. Because every single episode, he just gives me even more reason to not like him. So anyways, we start off with Mpho's storyline. He's sleeping and I'm like, if looks could kill, Mpho would be dead right now. So Zitu, after finding that receipt, because she doesn't have concrete evidence, she decides, you know what, let me pretend that everything is okay, let me pretend that everything is fine. And she then goes on an interrogation. She's asking Paul, where are you going? Why didn't you invite your cousin to the party? Who is your cousin? Why have I never met them? All these questions. And Mpho, the way he's so reckless, he even forgets his lies. Firstly, he's like, Aibo, I don't have a cousin in Johannesburg. And then he's like, oh, but Zelda met your cousin with you in Marabastad. And then he's like, oh yeah, her name is Kiriboni. And then he told Zelda that the name is Babalo. Mpho, I don't even know what to say anymore. And Zitu is on to you. And my thing is, he doesn't even see that he's in kak. Like, he doesn't even see that Zitu is suspecting something. That night, Mpho is sleeping and Zitu actually takes his phone and starts going through it. My girl did the thing that we always tell women not to do. Never, ever, 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 ever go through a man's phone if you do not want heartbreak. And for me, it's like, if you have to go through the phone, if you feel like you need to do this, that's your answer. Like, it's time to leave because you're gonna find what you're looking for. Anyways, so she goes through the phone and she finds the shocking information. You can see the shock on her face, and I'm like, what is it? Like, what is it? And we actually don't get to see it until the end of the episode, but we'll get into that. So Mpho right now, in this moment, he is being truthful. He's like, babe, I need to go help a client. And he actually is going to help a client. The one time that he's actually telling the truth is the one time that my girl Zitu doesn't believe him. Zitu FaceTimes him and is like, where are you? Who are you with? Let me see. Like, show me your background. Like, guys, I could never ever deal with a cheating man because I do not have time for this. Like, she's busy playing private investigator because of Mpho. Like, girl, just get out of here. Like, get out of this marriage. Mpho is never ever gonna stop cheating. Like, you forgave him that one time. He's not gonna stop. And then he's like, babe, I'm going out with the gents. And Zitu just gets even more angry because she's like, oh, so you're going to sleep with whoever there when you're going out with your friends. Because as much as I believe that you can have friends who are single while you're married, but it cannot be that all of your friends are single. And worse, all of Mpho's friends, all of them are manhole. Like, literally all of your friends are single and all of them are womenizers. Like, nah. As a married person, it can't be that all of your friends are single and they are out here in these streets. And by out here in these streets, I don't mean that they're dating to find love and settle down. I mean, they're out here in these streets causing havoc and being menaces. So then he goes up with the boys, and then after going up with the boys, he heads straight to Upalisa. And I cannot believe that Mpho actually took Bonga's advice. So he goes to Palisa's house and you can see that his plan is working. He's getting his money's worth. He sleeps with the Palisa and then he gets home. Zitu is on the brink of losing it. Like, she's on the brink of going mad. And she's like, Mpho, sit down. We need to talk. Mpho is drunk and is like, oh, baby, why didn't you tell me you're drinking whiskey? Hey, blow job, yana, hey, this and that. And I'm like, Paul, can you not see that you're in Kakia? Can you not see your wife's facial expressions? Can you not see that this is not the time for games? But Mpho obviously doesn't see that. So Zitu's coming with receipts, she's coming with bank statements, she's coming with pictures, she's coming with everything. And now it's like, baby, this is my cousin Kunene. It's like, oh, now your cousin is Kunene. It's no longer Kitty Board. Oh, Bo. What are we gonna do with you, Bo? I can't use it. He tries now to turn it around and be like, hey, why are you going through my phone? I know we're married, but I've never gone through your phone. I want privacy as well. And I'm like, privacy? And even Zitu was like, privacy yokunuga, when you're cheating and you're out here spending our money on women that I don't know, and you're buying them beds, you're buying them houses, you're paying for stoves, you're paying for this and that, you're giving her 5,000 rands allowance. And then he's like, baby, let me explain. And then that was the end of it. We never saw his explanation. And last but not least, Bonga. Oh my goodness. His family is busy spending quality time together. They're playing games. And guess who shows up on Bonga's birthday? It was Unkanyezi to see Ubonga. And in my mind, I'm just like, I hope they don't bring these two back together, because it's not gonna work. I'm like, why would they bring these two back together? I feel like in season 1 they showed us all the reasons why these two shouldn't be together, and I don't feel like Ubonga has grown. I haven't seen like that much growth that I would be like, yeah, he's now ready to get back with Nkanyezi and actually make it work. I feel like it's actually deteriorated and it's gotten worse. But anyway, so Ubonga comes back and he sees Nkanyezi interacting with his family, and I know that in the back of his mind he was thinking that, wow, this would be perfect, like if me and Nkanyezi are still together, like she's getting along with my family, she feels like a member of this family, like it would be so awesome. She claims that she's just bringing back his socks, and I'm like, yeah, right. I just came to check on you as well, and I'm actually glad that she was able to be there for him in his hardest moments, because I feel like he needed that. In that moment, he was just being strong for everybody. He was being strong for his dad, his mom, his brothers, and he wasn't really being vulnerable with his friends. Like, he was just acting nonchalant and like, I hate this guy, why can't he just die already? But he was able to open up with Nkanyezi and just be vulnerable and just be weak in that moment and allow himself to just cry and let it all out. Nkanyezi doesn't actually entertain the idea of them even getting back together. You know, Bonga's like trying to flirt with her, trying to be like, my family's actually taking care of me emotionally, but like you can take care of me physically, you know, if you wanted to. But Nkanyezi is just like, ugh. And one thing that I did notice is that Nkanyezi is wearing a ring, and I was like, wait, this ring is on the left hand side, but there hasn't been a mention, because even when we saw Nkanyezi at the club while Ubonga was out with Ubutle, she was with another guy. So I'm like, is it another guy, or is she just dating, or is the ring that she's wearing is stop nonsense? I don't know. Maybe we're gonna find out. After Nkanyezi leaves, he goes to hang out with the boys, where Vuyani announced that he was gonna get married and whatever. And after everybody leaves, Eric actually asks him like, bro, how are you feeling? Because we know that you're usually strong, you're always there for everybody. Tell me that you're okay. Be honest with me, you know. And Ubonga tries to act strong and be like, I'm fine. But then he actually is able to be vulnerable with Eric, and it's like, I'm happy to see my parents being together, but then I'm scared that this will be gone in just a few weeks maybe, because this guy is about to die and is gonna leave us again, and we're finally happy as a family. And I was actually happy that Eric was able to be there. And I retract my statements from my previous review, where I was like, all of these guys are his best friends, hey, but none of them can be there for him. Eric really did try, and I'm actually glad that he was able to be there for him. So Ubonga ends up telling Eric, guess who came to see me? Nkanyezi. And Eric is like, hi bo, Mpho Nkanyezi, like out of the blue. And he's like, yeah, she just rocked up at my place. And I'm like, Bonga, weren't you the one who went crying to her just the other day? So why are you saying it was so random? She just rocked up at my place. But anyways, and he's like, he doesn't think that he would ever get back with Nkanyezi. And I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I feel like Nkanyezi is just gonna be the one who got away. Unless Ubonga drastically changes his behavior and Nkanyezi also tries to change her behavior, I don't think it's ever gonna work. So now, after hanging out with the boys, he goes home and there's an ambulance that's leaving with his dad, and it's like the dad is at the final stages of cancer and everybody's just worried, like they're going off at the doctor like, it's your fault, you're killing our father. What do you mean the final stage of cancer? I mean, it's denial. Like, that's the first stage of grief. Like, you don't actually believe that this person is dying, so you try and blame each and everybody. They all just barely holding it together, but Ubonga now has to be the one to be strong for everybody once again. And the dad and Ubonga actually had a private moment, and I feel like this was that point of reconciliation where the dad was able to be like, you, your brother, your mom were never a mistake to me. I am proud of you. I'm proud of you guys. And he's like, I am proud of you, Bonga, and I love you. I think that was his way of just saying, I love you. And he was like, I'm proud of you. And I'm actually glad that Ubonga was able to receive that. That would be one of the last memories that he has of his dad. The happy moments, the last moments that they spent together. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. That death scene, that final scene of Adulting, episode 7, I cried just a little bit. Like, it was so sad, and I'm like, they made me not like this guy, they made me hate this guy for all of season 1, and I cried in the end because it was so sad. But yeah, guys, that was Adulting season 1 episode 7. I don't know if episode 8 is gonna be the last episode. I haven't really heard if they're gonna extend it or it's still gonna be the 8 episodes. But hopefully next episode we actually get to see Zitu finally giving Mpho the boot. We see Vuyani actually waking up and realize that this marriage thing is just a sham. And I want to see how Eric is going to handle this parenting situation with Ncumisa. And I really do hope that people are there for Bonga while he's grieving, and I hope he doesn't go back to sleeping with random women to try and cure this heartbreak again, like he did with his breakup with Kanye. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.